Are you loyal to the behavior or are you loyal to the person? Meaning, if you don't like someone that abuses their partner, right? In general, you don't like abuse. But then you have a friend that is abusive to their partner that you're fully aware of is happening without a shadow of a doubt. You have a choice. Do you continue to be friends with that person, knowing what they're doing, which means you're loyal to the person and not the behavior? Or do you have a conversation with that person, and if they don't stop, you ultimately distance yourself from them, resulting in you not being a friend? Then you're loyal to good behavior and not to the friend. But this is the dilemma that so many people experience. As soon as they enter a relationship and as soon as bad behavior starts, or when it actually ends up showing its ugly face, some people have a hard time making a choice of either mentioning it, which can be quite scary, because a lot of people don't like the confrontation and a lot of people rather suffer in silence. Okay, this person is this way. It bothers me. But if I bring it up, it may make the situation worse. And then I'm going to feel bad because they feel bad. So some people begin to validate the abuser, the manipulator, the gaslighter's actions at the cost of their own feelings. They rather be discarded by this person than they discard them. So what do? They accept all types of bad behavior. And anytime you accept all types of bad behavior from someone that is a friend or your partner, it's telling them that you're okay with the behavior. So they're either going to continue to do the behavior, either to you or to others, or they're going to start telling you about it and maybe even bragging about it because they think you're cool with it. They think you think it's fine. Why is this damaging to the person? This is damaging to the person because eventually someone else's bad behavior that you choose to keep around will start happening to you, either by them or by someone else. And when you need help, when you need someone to talk to, when you want someone to intervene to protect you and make you feel safe, no one's going to be around. And the reason why no one's going to be around is because you're showing the world in general, but the people around you specifically, that it's okay. It's okay to go through this experience because when someone else went through it, who was a faceless person, it didn't bother you. You kept the person around. Because in your mind, maybe you thought that, you know what? It's not my place. Who am I to say anything? And that's fair. Now that has come to you now, who is everyone else to say anything about your situation? There's a question I asked someone who is friends with a woman that cheats on her husband. She cheats. This person has a son. And I asked the young lady, I was like, you have a friend that cheats on her husband, which you are aware of. And sometimes when you go on your vacations with this person, she'll hook up with someone there and you don't, for the most part, do anything about it because you're still this person's friend. And like, well, yeah, you know what? They're a good person. They just do this thing. I'm like, okay, cheaters are great people. You know what? We have it all wrong, ladies and gentlemen. Don't be friends with the person that helps the old lady across the street or the man that helps the elderly man pay for his groceries. Get yourself a whole bunch of cheaters because they're good people, according to this person, right? And then I asked them the question since I have a son. I was like, if your friend or this person that you know is such a great person, even though their behavior shows otherwise, I was like, why don't you find someone who cheats on their, so why don't you find someone who's a cheater and introduce them to your son and have your son go on a date with that person and eventually date them? But you can't tell your son that they're a cheater. You have to tell them they're a good person. It's like, oh, no, I wouldn't do that. I was like, why? You described this person, your friend, as a good person despite behaviors that demonstrate otherwise? If there's such a good person, why can't you find the equivalent for your son and introduce your son to this good person? Why is it different when it's your child? Her husband that she's cheating on, that's someone's son. Just like how your son is your son. So that's why it goes back to the question. Are you loyal to people, or are you loyal to good behavior? Because many times you can't be loyal to both.